I'm Larry Chu, Executive Director of Medicine X. Welcome to Medicine X. Good morning. It's really exciting to be here today. Medicine X, as you know, is our conference. Medicine X Ed is our conference dedicated to looking at the future of medical education, with a focus on patients and caregivers and students themselves as the often underheard voices in medical education, and using their expertise and experiences to drive innovation. So I'm honored to welcome you here to our third convening, and it's a conference made possible by registration fees from our delegates, staffing and administrative support from the Stanford University Department of Anesthesiology, and a grant from the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute, PCORI. Ooh, should I not use this? We seem to have a lot of, okay. See, it's always good that I'm the first speaker, so we get all these sound issues worked out. I also want to thank the Dean's Office at Stanford, who support Medicine X each year and help us really bring the best of Stanford and the School of Medicine to the world stage and to our Medicine X community worldwide. So this picture is from September 2015, and I thought I would start out my welcoming remarks by reminding us that this is really a homecoming of sorts, because Medicine X Ed, which is a second conference that we started, began right here in the Quadra Center in September 2015. So we're coming back to our roots and where we started. At that time, I asked you guys to join us in an exploration of how might we bring patients and caregivers and technologists and people who traditionally haven't really been involved in medical education in with us to help imagine the future of medical education, using our concept of inclusivity that we call everyone included in healthcare. And just to remind you, our belief at Medicine X is that in order for us to create that broader change we want to see in the healthcare system itself, we have to change the way we educate the people who live and work in that system. And so we must start by recognizing all the people in that system, including the end users themselves, and the expertise that they can bring to help us learn and improve. And you, our Medicine X community, have responded to our call to action over all these years. The abstracts that have been submitted to this meeting and the presentations on the schedule for the next few days reflect the visionary thought that each of you have given to our challenge to consider the future of medical education and addressing the greater problems in healthcare when we can do it together through everyone included. So last fall, I don't know how many were joining us last fall at our innovation conference, but I had this slide up. We had our Razzle Dazzle stage. It was at the main campus, and I introduced this idea of citizenship to the Medicine X community. The idea that we challenge ourselves to move and think beyond our roles as individuals in the healthcare system to this idea of citizenship. And along with citizenship, we have rights, but we also have responsibilities to each other. And the idea of a Medicine X citizen or a MedX citizen is to acknowledge that within ourselves and to acknowledge, to activate our own roles as people who can create, shape, and improve medical education for everyone. So over the next 2 days, I hope you will engage and activate your MedX citizen that's within you to learn about the people around you, because you'll see that Medicine X is unlike any meeting you've been to. You will be sitting next to a patient, a technologist, an administrator, an educator, a student, people with diverse experiences that you may never have even had a chance to meet before. So use that MedX citizen within you to learn about those around you, share what you know, learn from them, and then take that back to transform how you are teaching and engaging medical education. And Zoe will be here to remind you to be the MedX citizen that you can be. Just a few quick reminders. This is a busy slide, so I'm not going to expect that you read it. But just a few framing thoughts about what everyone included means. So everyone included, it is about inclusivity. But as we start this weekend, I want you to think about some of the principles that we've laid out, that we've thought about, and perhaps you can think about these ideas of challenging the system, be a rebel, think beyond the status quo of what you may think of medical education. Value each person that you meet here. And by valuing and respecting the expertise they have and really hearing them and listening to what they have to say. And to be human, give space to share a little bit of yourselves and be vulnerable with each other, because that builds trust and opens people up and creates so many more opportunities for learning. And facilitate connections. You're going to meet so many people and create so many great connections, and maintain those connections in social media and in person. And treat people with dignity and respect, and appreciate the stage that we've created, not even the physical stage here, but the space, and both physical and virtual, that we've created to engage, interact, not only with the people in the room, but the greater online community. And we've posted a blog post on how to share what you are seeing in your sessions, and I hope someone's live streaming me right now, because part of what we want to do is to have you as educators and students really put into practice some of the tools of engagement that we're trying to encourage you to implement. So rather than us providing our traditional live stream, we're going to challenge you and ask you to be citizens and to live stream for us. So we've put on a blog post on our MedX site with links to various live streaming tools that you can use with your smartphones to live stream breakouts or the plenary session. We do have video recording that we will provide on our YouTube page for the main stage talks, but those are not live streamed because I want you guys to be citizens, do some work. A couple other thoughts. These are some of our leadership principles, because you are all leaders, and wherever you are in the power hierarchy of healthcare, whether you're a healthcare executive in the C-suite of the dean's office, whether you're a faculty member, whether you're a junior clinician, or you're a patient, or you're a medical student, or you're an intern, we are all leaders. And in our everyone included model, we think about leadership maybe differently than we often see modeled. So I want to remind ourselves today, as we engage with each other, some of our leadership principles. And so part of it is that we really want to think about respect hierarchies and not power hierarchies. So when we meet people, you know, think about what is the expertise the person in front of me has, not what their title is. But what can they teach me? What can I learn from them? And what can I teach them? And think about in your own life, or here too, as you're leading discussions or facilitating workshops, this idea that we're stronger together. And when we have diversity, we create better work, because that brings better ideas. And the example that I give is actually the president that had the most books ever written about him, which is Abraham Lincoln. So he's well known for his leadership ability. And he's surrounded himself with diverse cabinet members who were, I'm sure many of them they were all very smart people, and many of them didn't even necessarily agree with him. And he's famous for even appointing some rivals onto his cabinet. But the point that he, I think, made was it's about bringing the best people to your team and working together to create the best work. And leadership can be flexible. And who has the best expertise on your team to help you with the problem you're solving, and help that person. And at the end of the day, it's about getting the best work done. So I hope you can think about some of these principles. Think about Abraham Lincoln. He's a great president, maybe, to think about, if you want to think about American presidents. Be my only comment today about that. We have more information about everyone included on our website. But let me share you a couple of other things about the impact that everyone included is having in the world. So we actually had a challenge where we asked other convenings and other conferences, would you be able to adopt inclusivity in your convenings? Would you be willing to also join us in devoting resources and these principles of inclusivity into your events? So we did this in partnership with Simpler Healthcare Hashtags in 2016. And since then, over 400 conferences worldwide have said, yes, we want to join this movement of everyone included and make our convenings inclusive to other people and adopt these principles in how we run our meetings. And since then, in 28 countries, there have been over 400,000 tweets and over 1.4 billion social media impressions generated from these convenings that have supported and adopted this principle of collaboration, of inclusivity. So I think that's really encouraging and something to celebrate. And I'll just end with this story because we talk about change and we talk about the healthcare system we want to see, and we often talk about, well, we can't do it, it's too difficult. We don't have the resources, we don't have the time. It's a nice idea, but not practical. So MedicineX started this project called the Emerging Leader Program, and the idea was, how might we change the culture of medicine through partnership with patients and bringing, again, this idea of everyone included into medical education. So we did this project last year where we paired healthcare students, not just medical students, but also pharmacy students, and also a social working students, and with patients. And they worked together over 8 weeks through a series of guided exercises to get to know each other and to try to understand a little bit about what it's like on the other side. And they used video conferencing, and they used a series of questions that we created and guided structured exercises to really explore and develop empathy for each other, to understand what it's like on the other side. And then this picture is they then met in real life for the first time at MedicineX. So I'm going to end my talk by showing you a video, and the video is a compilation of self-reflection. So at the end of all of these guided exercises, we asked them to just record a little video of their thoughts, of their interaction with their partner, and what they were learning. And this is what they learned. Can we play that?
Hi, I'm Amy Price.
Today's date is the 25th of August.
Hello, this is Tom Wilson with Week 5 of Stanford's MedicineX ELP program video update.
Hello, this video is for Week 4 and it's about an ideal visit.
I am a doctoral student in the School of Nursing at UCLA, and I'm actually on my honeymoon. Beautiful white lady.
As a patient myself, I always think that it is very important to include the patients themselves in the decision-making process.
We really discussed his interaction with finding a solution for a problem that he had. He was homebound for 15 years. He saw a plethora amount of doctors and physicians to find a cure for his illness.
We got to talking, and we were a lot more alike than I would have guessed. You know, he's an entrepreneur and setting up a business and getting an advanced degree in technology, and I am a patient who spent 11 years homebound with a mysterious illness until I figured out what was wrong and eventually developed the surgery to fix me.
This week we talked about the ideal anatomy of a healthcare visit. One thing that kept coming up over and over and over was communication. Communication is key. Communication and transparency build the foundation of trust.
The most important part of a healthcare visit, of any interaction with any practitioner, is having everyone in the room respected and on the same page. I had doctors come in and just like talk down to me and just be super rude and act like I have no idea what's going on. Our biggest thing about what we both agreed that was important for practitioners to do is to really take the time and get to understand and get to know the patient and understand where they're coming from.
We talked about how empathy could maybe be taught somehow in medical school, and patient stories and videos could be shown to medical students because it has like a much more impactful way than just teachers telling them about empathy.
A lot of it is feeling valued as a person. You know, when a patient is in the waiting room for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, not knowing when they might see the doctor next, that isn't the best system to make someone feel that we value their time.
The doctors would talk to her family members or her husband and not really address her as if she were a child. And I can understand that being a frustration because she's not a child, she's a grown woman, she's very well educated, so why would people come talk around her and not directly to her?
Because what always comes out is that life is full of change and uncertainty. And so it's not so much about the end result as it is how we make that journey count for one another.
If everyone included were to be used as a checklist of care, to say, okay, we are all equal partners in this, but it really has the potential to change quality of care. That being said, Shari and I had a chance to really talk about what it means for everyone to be included, because everyone included in medical care also includes pharmaceutical companies. Does it include insurance companies? Does it include sort of the corporate aspects of medicine?
I do think it might be difficult to implement though. I feel like the doctors are socialized to take the credit for the healing that happens within individuals, and so I think it might be difficult for them to relinquish this power.
Wrapping things up, talking about how supporting each other is one of the most important things that we can do, how vital that is for a cohesive healthcare experience.
Shamia and I found that no matter how tired we were, when we started to talk together and share ideas, like we were fired up and enthusiastic about the changes we could make, not in changing healthcare, but in redesigning it, on building on what people had already done well, and suggesting some tweaks here and there. So this is it for Amy Price. Thanks so much, and goodbye.
Thank you.
All right, so everyone included is becoming a global movement about patient caregiver inclusivity in academic medical education. And it did start right here in this room in September 2015. And I want it to continue this weekend. And I invite you to join us, help us co-create this and co-produce this with the patients and the caregivers and the technologists here today. I just have a few quick announcements. The Cyber Woke workshop was printed wrong on the schedule, so it will be today, but at 1:20 p.m. And this is going to be a fantastic workshop. it really addresses an important topical issue that's happening right now, which is related to both privacy and data breaches and the effect for everyone in healthcare. So I'd love to invite you to be part of the discussion that Nick Dawson is going to lead, and also Fred Trotter, a cybersecurity specialist, will join us via Skype to help us understand some of the other issues that are involved and what we can do as individuals maybe to also be protecting ourselves. Do not leave today. Do not leave today. Can I just say again, do not leave without hearing the closing keynote from Dinesh Palapani. You will want to hear his amazing story. He came all the way from Australia. And I met his mom yesterday. His mom is here, and his caregiving team. An amazing story of a medical student who faced adversity in his training, sustained an automobile accident, and I'm going to let him share his story of resilience and how he is now navigating his way back through the medical training process. Now, audience participation time. You should each have a red folder. I would like you to open the folder. Okay, so we have completely randomly done this. Completely random, okay, just random. Okay, it's random. Okay, so what I want you to do is to look in your folder. Now watch this. If I've done it right, a little circle is going to drop. Okay. Do you see a little sticker? Raise your hand if you see a sticker. Okay. Okay, so it is random. Okay, we see how this is randomly distributed. Okay, so there should be, I think, Monique tells me there should be 35 or so, 40 of these little stickers. If you have a sticker, that means that Medicine X, we have a free copy of Dr. Montori's book, Why We Revolt. And this is going to be available during the book signing after his keynote talk, and I'm going to introduce him right now. But don't worry, there's also, the bookstore is here and has books available for sale too. And just as a note, all the proceeds of this book go to support his nonprofit work, the Patient Revolution. And we're happy to support it. And so if you have a stick, I feel like this is like with the Ellen show. Like you get a, oh no, that's Oprah. So okay. So if you have a sticker, bring your folder to the book signing, and they'll have a free one there for you. But you're supporting a great cause.